Hello, welcome. And hold on one second here. Sorry, guys. For those of you on Facebook who are just joining us, we've had some technical difficulties today, and hopefully they'll be fixed. But as you can see, I have online special guest Matt Thompson. For a lot of you guys know him from King Diamond, and also works around the area as a local drummer. And so, Matt, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So we were supposed to start this, at 7:30, 7:45?
7:45.
Yeah. And by the way, I have David Saborio in the house with me tonight.
What's going on, you guys?
But don't have a camera feed for him, so you'll just be able to hear him. He had a bad hair day, and when he was mowing the lawn, sorry. No.
Very funny.
No, I'm only joking, right? So anyway, guys, again, if you're just tuning in, the reason why I do a lot of these, starting this podcast, is because I want to just raise awareness of what's going on in the local area, both with music and other activities. People want, just get out there and support live music when you can. And I myself am trying to do that as well. If I'm not on a gig or anything like that, I do go out and support live music as well. So, but that's one of the reasons why I'm doing these podcasts, is because I want to get some more people just aware of what we're doing. And I think I have you unmuted, David. Okay. So you guys are in for a treat. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff going on. We're going to focus on drumming mostly today, and what's going on with that industry as well as the music industry. And Matt, I guess, just chime in and just let people know who you are and what you do.
I'm Matt. I live in DFW, and I'm a drummer. I live in Denton, to be precise.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, you're working around town pretty much as well?
Yeah, I am now, yeah. Touring kind of stopped with the pandemic. The band I play with, King Diamond, the singer, King Diamond, he's got another band, which was his first band, called Merciful Fate.
Oh, okay.
They did a cycle. They may still be in. I'm not really sure, but they did festivals in Europe, and then they did a full U.S. tour. So I guess King is kind of taking a break right now. There's an album coming up, but for the meantime, I'm concentrating on staying local.
Oh, okay. Hold on one second here. Let me. Okay. For some reason, make sure. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm having some technical issues tonight, but hopefully you guys can still hear me. It looks like I'm coming through okay. Well, cool. So some of the questions that I had people ask me about what you do, and I think, David, you had some questions, right?
I most certainly do.
And
you want me to start?
Yeah, he said hi, David. By the way, David can't hear the feed. Do you hear the feed on your?
Well, it's delayed, so I'm just gonna go as it is. So sorry, Matt. I apologize, but I'll listen to your response after the stream is over.
But can you hear David okay?
Yeah, I hear him fine. Yeah.
Okay. We didn't have a lot of these difficulties the last two times, so I'm not sure what's going on. If there's some sort of vibe in the air, I don't know.
Let's not get supersticious here.
All right. So, anyway, because I know you had some questions about what's going on, and you wanted to ask it.
Yeah, and I think, I'll ask first. So, Matt, first question is like, you know how many people who pursue music, they started off as a hobby or as a extracurricular activity. Was it the same in your case? And if so, when was it that you figured out or decided that being a professional big time drummer was your calling? Because I know lots of people, myself included, would like to hear your backstory in regards to this.
Well, it started for me like in my neighborhood in New Jersey. There was a guy we all hung out with. He was a year older than us, and he was, I guess you could call him like the alpha male among like all of us, we were all in second grade. Or no, we were all in third grade. He was in fourth. His name was Andy. And the elementary school system in New Jersey at the time, you started being able to take lessons and play in the band in fourth grade. And he did that, and he had a drum set. And we'd go over to his house, and he would teach us a couple beats, and we would kind of like, there was probably like 4 or 5 of us, and we would play beats and stuff. And I think I did pretty well at that. So then I started playing drums in fourth grade, and yeah, I was into it. I think I was more into it because it was a way to get out of class. When we had private lessons, you were able to skip class. And I wanted to quit in 5th grade, but my mom wouldn't let me quit. So I stuck with it. And I started getting into Rush. In 4th grade, I was into, Rush and the Police and Pink Floyd and a whole bunch of other stuff. But when I was 12, I finally got to see Rush. It was a Signals tour. My dad worked for NPR for 25 years, but before that, he worked at a company called Radio Records out in LA, and he made a lot of friends out there. One of the friends he made was the head of a company called National Sound, which did live sound. I think we did other stuff, but primarily live sound. And they were doing Rush's audio equipment. Back then, Rush would play twice at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. And I went both nights. The first night, my dad took me, and we got backstage, and I got to see the show. Well, we had all access, so I got to see, my first Rush concert, the Signals tour, from behind the drums, and then also from the front row, and then also from the front of the second level. Opposite the stage, and so it was like all the best of all those worlds, and it just freaked me out. And I remember the show was over, and they let me go behind the drum set and look around, and that's when I decided I really wanted to be a drummer. It was because of that concert. And then I went on to see Rush 19 times in the years that followed, but that was mostly because they would play twice, and it's not as simple as that. Through the years, I've had a lot of doubts. Like, can I make a living at this? Is it worth it to put all this time into it? And, I considered other things. But it's kind of worked out. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And he's hearing your answer a little bit of a delay, but does it make sense, David?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I think there was other questions. I actually had a question. Someone asked me about you. So when you're on the road, do you even have time to practice? Do you do your warm ups and your warm ups and stuff?
Yeah, that's a really cool question. It's a real problem on tour, man. I realized on my first tour that such an interesting thing. Like, you practice, like you turn into a practice addict. I know you know that. Like, that kind of, it's part of it. And when you get on the road, like, one of the reasons you practice so much is so that you can get to do things like go on the road. But then once you go on the road, you can't practice, at least in the way that you want to. I would bring a practice pad and sticks, and you could do that. But I found quickly that when I, tried to go around the drums during sound checks and stuff, like, everyone was like, dude, shut up. Like, people don't want to hear that, especially in a big venue. So yeah, it's a problem, man. It is an issue.
Yeah, same here. Like, I'll keep a little practice pad in my stick bag when I'm out on tour as well. And sometimes, usually either before or after sound check, I'll have some time to warm up a little bit in the hotel room or the bus or whatever. But yeah, I see. That's why, and I know the answer. But there were some people that were asking me some questions like that that have been on the road, and I want to see. Let me look on the comments to see if anybody might have any questions. Just a quick shout out, Jerry Matheny. Hey, Jerry Matheny's on the line with us.
Is Jerry related to Pat Metheny?
Oh yeah, right.
Oh man,
Jerry Matheny. You may know him. He's the guitar player. He worked with Leanne Rimes for a while. A lot of other people. Is currently doing some things with April Smith, who is around town. She's doing some cool stuff.
Oh, nice.
And he must know Wojo.
Of course. Who doesn't know Wojo?
God, that's one of the he was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, and I ended up staying here and going to UNT because
Yeah.
I talked to him. I saw him with Random Access at Memphis in the '90s.
Absolutely.
And he was the last of us, not the last, but he was the end of a string of players that I saw in the area. Like I saw Keith Carlock when he was 18 at Dick's.
Yep.
No, at Dick's Last Resort in the West End, and I saw Ed Sove play, and I saw Greg Beck play, and then I saw Wojo, and I was like, "What is going on with Dallas, man?" So that's
Yeah, that's awesome. You and I probably crossed paths because that was about the time I was working at Dick's Last Resort with a band called the Project Band. And that was about the time where I'd go down to Dallas Alley or Bahama Bob's or anything to see Random Access down the street there, if you remember
far out.
some of those places.
I was playing regularly at the Outback next door to Dick's
Right.
Resort. It wasn't the Outback Steakhouse, but it was the Outback. It was a
Right.
different thing. Yeah.
I know it very well, and that's where I saw Keith Carlock a lot too, because the Dallas Brass and Electric used to play next door.
That's who I saw him with at Dick's when he was
Yeah.
18, and he lost the bass player like right away. And it was nuts.
Oh man, I can imagine. Well, yeah, so we might have crossed paths, and we didn't even know it. Because
Right.
yeah, that was back in the late '90s, I guess. So, but anyway, hey, Michelle Case Piper, yay, she's online with us.
Neat.
Now here's the deal. You have to know my wife. They call her the drummer's wife. So if I say something weird or stupid, she'll be in the studio saying, or she won't say anything. She'll just give me the look, No.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, she keeps me in line. So let me just see who else is on here. Pepe Marole, yeah, great drummer out of Las Vegas, guys. Matter of fact, Pepe Marole is going to be my guest next Sunday night.
All right.
And we can't wait to get him on here. If you get a chance, go check him out on YouTube or Facebook. He has a lot of great videos of what he does with a lot of the techniques that he teaches. And says he can hear us great. So we want to say hello to Pepe. Scott Dobson, how are you? Isaac Holiday, he's online with us. So Isaac is one of our instructors at the School of Music we work at. All right. Koichi, how you doing? And Michelle says howdy. Okay. Yep. The drummer's wife. Haha. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick shout out real quick before we went any further because I don't want to ignore any of the comments as they come in. So, well, very cool. So yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, we must have crossed paths and didn't even know it. Were you around when Van Halen played in the Dallas Alley?
I was, but I couldn't go. I don't remember why I couldn't go.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, so David, you have a question? Yeah.
I do. Matt, if you could give me a list of your top big five musical influences, drummers or non-drummers, whichever, would you be able to just give them right off the bat and maybe give an in-depth reason why you chose those five artists?
Yeah, I have a preamble for that. This question drives me crazy. It drives me crazy because I've been obsessed with music for so long, and there's so many drummers that occupy so much space in my in my list of influences. It drives me nuts because I'll name drummers, and each drummer that I name makes me think of 20 other drummers that influenced me, and those 20 make me think of the 20 other drummers, and so on, like that shampoo commercial back in the 80s.
Right.
Geez, I don't know, man. I'll throw out five names, but with the disclaimer that they're not my top influences. They're influences, and they influence me a lot, and they're just five names that come to mind. I will throw out Buddy Rich, Neil Peart, Alex Van Halen, Tommy Lee, John Bonham. Was that five? This is the first five, I guess, that came to mind for whatever's going on in my head right now. Neil Peart for obvious reasons, Buddy Rich for obvious. It all seems like obvious reasons for all of them. They made music that just has a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. There's just so many drummers, and all these names are rushing in right now. It's just every drummer that I've ever heard, even drummers that I don't know the name of, that are just on radio hits that I've heard all through my life. They absolutely influence the way I play. Um, and what can I say, man? I try to have the mindset that everything influences the way I play, from guitar players to any instrumentalist to books that I read to beautiful birds in the sky. Crap like that.
Sorry, I had to do that real quick. I didn't mean to do that, but hey, that's what these podcasts are for, is to have
That was
fun.
appropriate.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of influence. I tell you, I just growing up, Neil Peart was one of my favorites, and I mean, I learned a lot just by watching what he does. But man, as I grew older, I don't know about you, Matt, but when I was younger, the opener for YYZ or any of those other songs where they're doing all the intricate run-ups and run-downs, it sounded like 30-second notes at 300 beats per minute. But as I got older and got more educated, now I just hear them as just triplets. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's crazy how your mind works as you get more educated in drumming or any instrument for that, for that matter. How things start to hear. Yeah.
The farther back you go, the more things are just magic. You hear it, and it's just magical. Like I remember Neil Peart's China cymbals. I had no idea what those were. I had no idea. I know he had Wu hands, but I thought that there was some kind of electronic trick. That's how young I was when my mind was being blown by him.
Well, it's just, I mean, there's a lot of drummers like I listened to Vinny Colaiuta, Dave Weckl, a few other people, but as I got older, I started getting into more of a groove thing. So now Steve Gadd and a few other people I love to listen to, just because it's just a groove thing. And I don't know about you, Matt, but man, as I get older, I just don't want to do a lot of soloing anymore. I just, well, okay,
I've never been into it.
Maybe a little bit.
I've never been into drum solos. I feel comfortable when I'm accompanying, and soloing to me, I feel like it's a whole different situation.
Oh yeah. Well, I think, hey, Matt, I think we should show a clip real quick of you in action with King Diamond. What do you think?
I'd like to see that.
Okay.
Hey, you know what? Only because I couldn't find any other videos that you had for Around Town, so I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm not sure where this was. I think one was in Chile, and I think it was, I can't remember. But anyway, guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and show this clip real quick. Here we go. Well, there you go. What can I say? I'm not sure if there was any more to that video or not, but I didn't want to make anybody too worried about it.
Oh, come on. I wanted to see more. And that was freaking killer.
Okay. But anyway, what other questions do you have?
Well, I'm not sure if you mentioned this before, but Matt, did you attend any prestigious music schools, like whether it be college or maybe private schools during your high school years, or et cetera? Like any like super hardcore music education?
Thank you for asking. When I was in, let's see, the summer between, I think, sixth and seventh grade, I went to a place in New Jersey called Apple Farm. Um, and I think that's the first kind of intense music experience I had. It was an arts camp. It wasn't just music, but they had some pretty cool names there. Like um, I took mallets and jazz improv with a guy named Khan Jamal, who's related to Ahmad Jamal, and that was really cool. And the cool thing about that place was that all the food that we ate was grown there or raised there. And part of our the camping experience was to rotate on farm chores as well as going to music lessons and rehearsals all day and electives and stuff. That was a really cool experience. Then in New Jersey, I attended prestigious places such as Burlington Community College and Camden Community College. And then when I came to Dallas, I did some stuff at Brookhaven, and then I went to Richland. And just because I couldn't sit still when I was in my 20s. You know, I was playing in bands, and back then I was going to go to Berklee College of Music. I had a scholarship to Berklee that I won in a jazz festival in high school at Berklee. I went to Cherokee High School in Marlton, New Jersey, and part of being a jazz band was that we did jazz festivals up at Berklee, which was a great experience. I took private lessons with Tommy Campbell and did a couple other things. But anyway, during one of the concerts, I got a best soloist scholarship, which was, it wasn't that much. It wasn't a lot of money, particularly when you factor in the tuition at Berklee. And the reason, and then, okay, so anyway, when I was at Richmond, I decided to get my associate's degree there to consolidate my credits so that they would all transfer over to UNT, which, long story short, I decided to go to UNT, which has a lot to do with the tuition of Berklee and the tuition and cost of living in Denton at the time, and it's probably even more extreme now. But yeah, so I was able to transfer all those credits from my associate's degree, which pretty much eliminated all the core classes, so that I was able to just focus on music at UNT. So I think that the answer to the prestigious, the place that I went to would be University of North Texas. I always held that place in very high regard. First, from when I read an interview with Greg Bissonette back in the, I guess it would have been the late '80s, early '90s. It was an interview when he got, got the gig with David Lee Roth. And I was a fan of his from Maynard Ferguson live in San Francisco. And I know I'm rambling, but anyway, there's information there. And that's when I first heard of Denton, Texas, the University of North Texas. It was from that interview with Greg Bissonette. And then when I came here, I put it all together because, like I said before, I saw those drummers like Keith Carlock and Greg Beck and Dan Wojciechowski. And like I said, when I saw Dan with Random Access, I stayed after and went up to him. I was like, dude, what is the deal with the drummers in Dallas? Like the caliber of playing here is so high. And watching Wojo, like that's short for Wojciechowski, I would watch him and I was just so astounded with his playing, because he would, like, it was meat and potatoes with Dan, bah,
Yeah.
boom, boom, bah. But underneath
Very clean.
but underneath it, there's this virtuosity, like it reminds me of Tony Williams. Tony Williams, there's a bounce to it. But if you know what to listen for and you're listening for it, there's a mind-blowing virtuosity underneath it. And Wojo had that, in a pop setting. And I just loved it. And I was like, man, that's what I want out of my playing. So I asked him afterwards, I was, what's the deal with the level of playing in this town? He told me it's basically because of the University of North Texas and Ed Soph teaching up there. And that's when I went and saw Ed Soph at the library in Deep Ellum. There was a place called the Library. I saw him playing jazz there, and if I'm remembering this right, this was a long time ago. But yeah, he invited me to come up there and check out the program, and I did. And I checked out the program, I checked out the tuition, and decided to go there. And another reason I decided to go to UNT was because, the practice rooms at Berklee, you had to sign them out, carry your drums into the practice room, and I think you got 4 hours max or maybe 6 hours max, but then you would have to break them down and take them out of there. Whereas at UNT, you got your own practice room and you could keep it. I kept one for I think 3.5 years, and you could just practice in there as long as you want. Some guys slept in there. I slept in there a couple of nights, but anyway, yeah. I mean, that was a big deal to me.
Yeah, we all remember. Well, see, Bruce Hall, over at North Texas University, and I was taking under Henry Oxtell. Now, I didn't do a lot at the school itself, but I took privately under him, and it was interesting. I have just a quick funny story. Henry would always come to our house. He and my parents were in a home business together, and I think he started me when I was about 8 or 9, and we did it for a few years.
Cool.
And then when I started driving, I would go to his place after that. But I don't know about you, Matt, but in my home, we would rehearse rock. We'd have a rock band, and I had this double bass Pearl export drum set with 3 rototoms, a gong. I think these were cymbals, maybe glorified trash can lids, because I didn't have real cymbals at the point in time. But Henry looked at me and he said, when you start working, you're not going to want to carry all this stuff around. I says, oh yeah, I am. I am. I'm going to have fun. I actually fit that whole set into a back of a '79 Volkswagen Rabbit. I think it was. I think it was a '79. I can't remember. But anyway, the point of the story is about 10 to 12 years later, when I was a gigging drummer, I was working a grand opening with a really cool keyboard player. If y'all don't know, Tony Palace, great electronic. Yeah. So I worked with his jazz trio quite a bit, and we did kind of a Chick Corea thing too. So we had fusion music. Anyway, we're doing a grand opening at one of the Whole Foods market, and who walks into that front door?
Oh, I know this story.
It's Henry Oxtell, and I hadn't seen him in years, and he didn't say a word. He walks in front of the drum set. I just had a kick drum, a snare, a ride cymbal, and a hat. I don't even think I had a tom. And if you can see me, he kind of gave me this look as he walked by. He kind of went,
"Told you so."
So that's kind of my Henry Oxtell story. I'm sure we all have funny stories.
I'm
sure.
Henry Oxtell.
Oh yeah,
I love
yeah,
that guy.
yeah. Me too. He was a great teacher, and
Great teacher.
Yeah, and if you didn't practice, he would never really yell at you, but he always wore these big old headphones, if you remember, and he would basically, if you're holding your sticks and you're trying to play a piece, he would put his hands over your sticks and push your hands all the way down to the drum head. Well, he did that with me, at least. And then he would turn on some Tower Power on a vinyl record behind me and says, "This is how you want to sound. To get to sound like this, David Garibaldi, you need to practice that." I said, "Point taken." So
he took me from the let's see, I was having trouble making a lab band, and I took lessons with Henry during the summer.
Yeah.
And he turned me onto this book and made me go through it and count everything out loud. And then I came back the next semester and made the Six. The Six was my first band that I made there.
very cool.
And also, you mentioned Tony Palos. I played with him a bunch back in the '90s with Jeff Taylor.
Oh yeah, God rest his soul.
Yeah. And we did a CD with Jeff. And with Russ Wimbish on bass. And then I hadn't seen Tony for years, man. And I just did a gig last year with him, with Frederick Nicholson on bass, and Shelly Carroll was on sax. And I was like, man, Tony, holy crap. I hadn't seen him, I think, in like 15 years.
Yeah.
Or something.
It's a lot of great stories.
He's a great player.
I actually have a question from our viewers room, Matt. It's from John Mathers.
But I think he already answered this question.
Oh, okay.
Like Matt, because he's asking about his experience at UNT.
Oh, okay. So Matt, did you get a good answer for that? Matt was asking, was UNT beneficial to your music career? If so, in what regard, and how did it affect your style of drumming? Let's see. And then my son is interested in UNT. So John, I don't know if you heard the answer, but but I guess if unless you want to answer it again, Matt. I mean, that's the question that I just saw pop up. So
There's a lot to that.
yeah,
My experience at UNT was pretty complicated. And to simplify it, I'm going to say it was great. I loved it. It was some of the best times of my life. I was finally, I didn't start there until I was 26, and I had already kind of done a lot of playing up and down the coast in New Jersey, and a lot of heavy metal in New Jersey. And then I came here to play with the band, and I had done a lot of that, a lot of playing, a lot of dues paying. And when I got there, I just found myself in a fantasy land of everything I ever wanted in life, which was just a full diet of music. And as far as his son going, I say absolutely, man. I mean, what can I say? It's a different faculty now, but man, Quincy is there, and I'm such a fan of Quincy. I love Ed Soph, and Quincy's got a different style, and I think he's doing an amazing freaking job. I don't know if you've seen his videos, but check out his YouTube channel. If you want to brush up on your jazz, or if you're into jazz drumming at all, and he also talks about funk styles and stuff like that. But he's just got a great, friendly style of teaching.
Awesome. Well, there's a lot of there's a lot of great stuff going on at that college. But I have another question from the drummer's wife, Michelle. And she came into the studio to ask this question. She wanted to know, what kind of a crew did you have to set up that humongous drum set?
That's done by one guy.
Oh wow.
Okay. I've had different techs through the years, but from 2013 on, I've had the same guy. His name's Sebastian Blaise, and he's from Montpellier, France. He lives in Japan now, but he's worked with a lot of bands, man. He's absolutely the best drum tech I've ever had. He's the first drum tech I've had. The drums were in exactly the same place every night, and he took great care to not damage them in any way. And so I think for the load in and load outs, the local crew differs, and the crew, they all kind of work with each other with the load ins and the load outs. But once it's loaded in, it's all him. He sets it all up and tears it down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
and my kit's not that big compared to some of them.
Right. Well, if I remember, I think what I saw on your King Diamond setup, you had what, Tamaset? Was it a Tamaset? Yeah, three across the top, 2 on the floor, 2 Chinas on the side, right and left. Okay, and because I tell you, one show that I went to was a Dave Matthews show, and yes, it was a great concert, but I was more impressed with the drum crew after the show was done. And they had 2 guys, actually 3 guys, and they brought out these big tackle box looking cases, and for some reason I'm like, I've got to take a look at what they're doing here. And Carter Beaufort has a huge set, as you know, Yamaha kit, but man, they had that thing in the boxes off the stage, and I don't even think it was 10 minutes. it's like
some of these guys, like I got to see the way Megadeth does it a few times.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're doing this now, but they went back when Sean Jarvis was in the band. They had the drum riser and the kit, and they rolled that into the truck. The whole thing, all set up and everything.
Wow. And I see that a lot. There's a lot of stages that already have the drums already mounted, right? Pretty much, yeah.
I guess if truck space is not an issue, then you can do that.
Yeah, it makes the setup a lot easier. Well, if you don't mind, Matt, I'm going to show this other clip real quick, and I think this was matter of fact, I might have you demonstrate it on your kit there. It was like you were doing a double bass thing, but it was I don't know if it was in 5/4 time, but let me just show the clip, and I think I did put something on the end where you actually demonstrate how you did it. Let me see if I can find it. Anyway, let's see if we can make this work, guys. Here we go. Well, a little bit of a technical thing there. Sorry about that. But what happened was the video started making you play like 800 beats a minute there. I don't know what was going on there, but it might have been doing it on my setup. So I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on. Seems like I'm having some technical stuff go on today, but that's okay. We'll get through it, as David can probably aspire to. Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He's over there. Look. Oh yeah, you're watching it. Okay.
Yeah, cool. I was watching it too.
Well, that's good because now I'd like to see if you could do it for real. That was what was the name of that song that y'all did?
That song's called Welcome. It's called Welcome Home. It's on the album Them, which is an early '80s classic from King Diamond.
Oh, okay. Well, and the reason why I tried to splice that video next to the live performance because there was really cool footage of you actually showing how to do that, but I don't know why it didn't take. So like I said, sorry about the technical difficulties, guys and gals, but that's what it is, right? It's episode 3. As we keep on going, these are going to get better. Matter of fact, I'm hiring a control person to come in and do all of what I'm doing, so I can focus on other things. Well, we all know who he is, right?
Yeah, is it who I think it is?
Yeah.
Okay, then yes.
Well, matter of fact, I'm going to probably set up a chair and a table over in the corner of the studio where he can take care of all of the stuff. Because guys, I'm working on changing camera angles and the sound. So bear with me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're doing the job of like 5 different people. I get it.
But probably the next couple podcasts, I'm going to probably bring him in during the week and train him and see if we can have him do all the camera angles and stuff. But Matt, since you're on your drum kit, can you demonstrate that? Are you set up with your double bass pedal now, or?
Yeah, I am. There's a couple things to that. There's a couple videos that I ended up doing out of that video, and the first thing I need to say is that that's Mickey D's song. That's Mickey D's parts. There's a fill in there that's mine that I just added in there. For the most part, I try to do Mickey's the important things that need to be there in the song.
Yeah.
The first one I did was people asked me to break down that intro fill, and so what I say in the video is that it's his fill, and the best thing to do is to go to his video and check out the way he does it. I think I get pretty close, but there's 2 different ways I do it. So the fill is on. Let's see if I can. So that's it, right? So there's 2 bass drums in between that. Right there, the 2, right?
Right.
And so 2 every time. And that's what I did for a long time. But then I started putting 3 in there, just to challenge myself more. So I just kind of squeezed the 3 bass drum notes in there.
Yeah.
That makes sense. think that's what's happening on that version. That was in
So
2015.
so are you doing like on the double bass? Are you doing like a right with a one left hit before you do the toms?
So yeah, so when I'm doing the 2, it's right left, and when I'm doing the 3, it's right left right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because what I do, because I'm not sure if you were doing, like I said, it almost sounded like you were doing a right, left. Let me see. Let me go to this angle here. So if I was to go, I'm going to go ahead and unmute the vocal, rather the talk back. So I would go right, left, and then right, left. But I wasn't sure if that's what you were doing. You don't.
Are you doing right left with the kicks?
Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, so I'm going right, left, right, left. So if it was to look, if I go slow.
Cool.
Like
Yeah,
like
so you're
like
doing
like so. Yeah.
So you're doing like a left single drag with your feet.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's why I was asking you if that's what you were doing when you did that actual fill there. Let me go back to
Singles,
this
baby.
one. Yeah. Anyway, singles. There you go. But other than that, I mean, as far as your practicing, I mean, how many? Do you have time to do a lot of practicing now, or are you pretty much gigging?
Well, as it is now, the kids are in school, and while they're in school, I practice all day. You know, I
Yeah.
have a studio. I have a studio down the street where I do a lot of tracks for people, and I teach remotely out of there, and also teach in person there. But
Okay.
during the day, I'm doing a lot of practice. I have a routine that I stick to and keep a log, and you know, it's especially when you know, the touring paused for the pandemic, and we haven't been back out since 2019.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I started getting serious
Right.
about practice again with different styles and stuff. Because now I'm making a local push again.
Yeah.
And it's been a long time since I really did that. I've done gigs here and there with my band Shower Death Squad, and I'm a
Yeah.
Celtic rock band called Rathmore that we do. But for the first time now, I'm back in a cover band in that cover scene. You know, for the first time since the early 2000s, and it's cool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and it's funny you say that because there was a question about drum styles. I don't know if, like I said, and by the way, when you're working around town, I did see some of your stuff on post on Facebook. So you do jazz, blues, pretty much all of it, right?
All is a big word,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you know, I'll do all the gigs I can, whatever style I can.
Yeah, it definitely helps, right? I don't know if, let's see. I guess one of the other questions, David, do you have anything else as far as?
Well, I'm not a drummer, so I really can't ask these type of questions. My apologies, but I do have one in regards to touring. Well, actually, better yet, with King Diamond, like, is the band still planning on doing any tours in the upcoming future, or recording sessions, maybe a new album in the horizon, or I don't know, or some jam sessions, or sorry, rehearsals, I mean?
The information I have is that we'll be putting out a new album and touring again.
Oh, cool. So a new album and touring again.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the plan,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
And are y'all going to be doing like a worldwide thing again? Y'all go overseas quite a bit, right?
Typically, we do Europe, North America, and Mexico, and certain dates in South America. That was kind of how it was going before the pandemic. It's hard to say now. I think a lot of things have changed, but The Merciful Fate cycle that they just did was Europe and then North America and then Mexico and I think a couple dates in South America.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
And y'all, one thing I don't remember. Well, I don't. King Diamond, of course, does all the national circuit, right? Like in the States, I guess, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I think there was one video you were doing where, what was the guy? He came up on stage right before y'all played. Slayer, the guy from Slayer.
Oh yeah, okay. So I think what you're talking about is during the Mayhem tour in 2015, we played right before Slayer, and Kerry King would come out and play the song "Evil" with us.
Okay.
And that happened, I think, 12 times. I think the last 12 shows that we did, he came out and played with us.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay. I was wondering about that because I saw the video. I saw it had that on there, and I was kind of curious about that myself. More questions, David?
Still in one other question about the tour, because there's been this whole how would I say this whole spiel, and I don't really find it believable, but that's just me. But is it really true that touring isn't as financially promising or stable as it used to be back in the day? Because I read some article saying that that's what Steve Vai, guitar legend Steve Vai, has been saying, that bands or musicians would be lucky just to break even now in this day and age. But I'd like to hear the answer, like from an actual touring musician, or from the actual touring musician speaking about it.
Well, music business is funny. Every situation is completely different. I don't think there's really any standard. With King, I don't really go into the business about it, really. But how it works with King is the two original members are King and Andy, and they take the risk, and they're more, they take the risk of whether the tours are successful or not. I'm on salary, and so whether the tour is successful or not, I will get the same amount. And in that regard, I've never finished in the red on a King Diamond tour. But as far as I know, there haven't been any King Diamond tours that weren't successful. Every single tour I've done since my first one, which was in 2001, there's a lot of sold out shows, and it's there's never been really any failures. I remember we had a week show in Malmo, Sweden on a Monday night, and there was like 4 feet of snow on the ground. So, and the fact that there was anybody there at all was kind of shocking, but there was still about 200 people there. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, man. I can only really speak for my view of it. I've been in other situations too, like opening bands on tours. And like I said, every situation is different. Sometimes the support bands you see, they'll be paying to get onto that tour, and I don't know. It's different for every band, And since the pandemic, I haven't really been on any tours, any major tours. So I can't really say what's going on now. I know it's kind of different. In 2019, the music business was already changed a lot. We did like meet and greets. There's VIP packages now. There's a lot of different ways that bands are trying to make money because record sales are gone. Streaming has killed all that. So yeah, man, I'm probably just confusing you further with this answer, but the truth is that every situation is completely different.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so you're getting the answer a little bit delayed.
Yeah, but I got the answer. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna probably wrap this up, but
what, so soon?
Well, one thing I wanted to ask though, or maybe speak of. So David, I used to sub for Matt at a church in Addison,
Oh,
and I guess are you still working over there?
Yeah, I am. I've been there 16 years. I played there today, actually. Yeah,
Oh, good,
still
good. So
Yeah,
are all
I'm loyal to them.
cool? Did you see Perry Revis? My buddy Perry Revis, was she there?
Yeah, yeah. I see her maybe once every 2 months. She comes in to sing.
Oh, okay.
But she's cool, man. She's into sci-fi, and I'm into sci-fi, so we can talk about that.
Hey guys,
Man, I
Matt. I'm sorry, Matt. Hold on one second. I need to change a battery, real quick. Hold on one second, guys. Okay.
Yeah. Is it on the TV?
Oh, let's see. Okay. Okay, that was a quick battery change, so I'm getting good. I should have a pit crew.
yeah.
So anyway, so someone asked me. I thought I saw something in here. Maybe I overlooked it.
Well, I'll chime in real quick because on YouTube, I'm watching it through YouTube. One of your students is actually watching the podcast. He said it's your student Alex. He's watching it from YouTube.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
is that one of your students, Matt?
No, it's
Oh, one of my
your
students.
students. Your students.
Okay. Hey, Alex, how are you? Is it Alex Pudlucky or Alex Gwynn?
I'm guessing it's Win.
Alex, how are you doing? Are you practicing, Alex? No.
If he's still watching, I'm sure he is.
No, we have great students, and David and I work at the same school, and my wife Michelle is running it very, very well, and things are getting good, so we're happy. Sorry about the battery change, guys, but it was going out, and everybody was starting to sizzle on their voice. So Matt, how hard would it be to ask you to do some cool drum riffs as we close here?
I'm for it.
Some cool drum riffs. Oh,
No.
no pressure, man.
Okay. Well, if
Give it
it'll
a
make
watch.
if it'll make you feel better.
That was,
Don't Pat Benatar, or no, the other one,
but-
Heartbreaker.
Benatar.
Is that Pat Benatar?
Yeah. Myron,
Yeah.
Myron Grombacher.
Oh yeah, yeah, and there's a lot of cool drum riffs. Like it's like I think I heard a show where they were doing opening drum riffs, and you had to guess what song it was, right? No,
I think
no-
Portnoy does a lot of that.
Oh yeah. And then there's the Moby Dick solo, and then there's the opening to Rock and Roll from Led Zeppelin, and then there's
Hot for Teacher.
Hot for Teacher. Yeah, and yeah. Oh yeah. I don't even know if I could still do that.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, do you know the story behind that? I've asked a lot of people about this, and I would love to know the truth about like how they recorded that and how that all went down.
For Hot for Teacher?
The intro to Hot for Teacher. I've heard some rumors that that he played the kicks on a pad. I even heard one rumor that it was a Harley Davidson because it sounds like a Harley.
It does. Yeah, and I think he did the actual beginning part on an electronic pad. I think that's what he did, because if I remember his setup, he had I think it was he played Ludwig's if I remember, but he had 2 electronic pads over near his floor tom. So if you're looking at this view here, he had it right over here somewhere. And I think he might. I don't know if he had any up here, but I think he had some right in this area. And he would do that opening riff either there or on the floor tom, and then he would go, then he would go into the actual it's kind of a weird thing, but I'm not really set up at my drum set to make it worthwhile. So he was doing that. He was doing that on. I guess you'd call it a. What am I trying to say? Cymbal pattern. What cymbal pattern was that? Do you think he was using? That was an eighth note with 2/16. Yeah. I think that's what he was doing.
And then there's the pistonette one where it's like.
Yeah.
Hard as hell.
Well, but there's a lot of great drum openers, and everybody probably remembers this one. I think it goes. Let's I gotta have fun. I gotta have fun with that one.
Did you get Gadaments?
I've heard of it, but no, I didn't. I got the Gadabout CD or the record a long time ago, but I didn't get a chance to listen to a lot of it.
I love Steve Gadaman. God.
Yeah, he's amazing. But anyway, I don't mean to be boring anybody with my drumming. You're the drummer on the podcast, so yeah, it's all good.
Oh, wish wash. You guys are both drummers. I don't even know how to drum, but I'm not drumming. But I think whatever I hear from drums is freaking sick. So,
well, isn't there a magazine called Sick Drummer? Matt, you were in that magazine, right?
It's a YouTube channel,
Okay.
and they do online magazines. I'm not sure if they've done them recently or not, but
yeah. Anyway,
they have a ton of videos, man.
Oh, cool. What was your question? I'm sorry, Matt.
Oh, I was just gonna say I need to have a podcast because I kind of need to talk to you about a lot of this stuff too.
Yeah, and
so I guess we're just gonna have to shoot the shit at Nate's.
Yeah, I know, right? By the way, for anybody that wants to go see Matt, he's at Nate's. You're Nate's on every third Sunday, right?
Every third, yeah. Are you on the first?
I'm on the second Sunday. So,
I should come by.
Yeah, we're trying to get David over here to get to the jams because if you've heard David, he's on the theme song, and that's him doing all the shredding.
Yeah, shredding, I guess. Thank you. No, thank you.
But some of these podcasts we're just winging it, you know. I mean, sometimes we may not have questions. We may just talk about drum talk, you know. But if anything, Matt, maybe we could get on a podcast again and just talk about stories and
come on, Dave, you got to show up, man.
Yeah, it said, David, you have to show up.
Oh, am I invited? I mean, I don't want to intrude. I already feel like a coattail rider here, you know, just listening in for two of some insane drummers. I don't know.
So, let me see if there's any questions in the viewers room. Let's see. Yeah, Thursday night, Alex. So that's Alex Wynn. Michelle says, hi, Alex. Isaac Holiday, yes, in work there too, LOL. Yeah, Isaac, if you're watching, Isaac's so funny. Sometimes we'll just say hey as we pass by, but sometimes I always like to go up to his door and tell him to teach his kids, don't forget to teach him A double flat. You got to teach him A double flat on everything you do.
A double flat, my left foot.
And he's like, get in your room. But I'm going through. Let's see, Yancey Arthur. Hey Yancey, how you doing? Well, guys, Matt, do you have anything else? David, do you have anything else?
Well, I will definitely try to stop by Nate's to see you and Matt. You know, just drum it off. You know, and I'll try to stop making excuses not to go. No, but seriously, I definitely enjoyed this podcast. Unfortunately, everything's delayed, so I'm just so I'll have to listen in once this is over.
And he said 3 words. So go ahead, Matt. 3 words.
Stuffed flounder atchafalaya.
Easy. I love that word. It's such a flounder asaphilaya. It's a great dish. You should try it with beans and stuff. It's great. I'm totally kidding.
Oh, the gumbo's bananas, man. It's
Yeah.
really good. Not literally. There's no bananas in the gumbo, but it's delicious.
It is. So Matt, just if you don't mind, let people know where you're playing. I do have your website up here. I'll go ahead and put that on the screen if you want to let people know where you're playing and where they can come see you, other than Nate's. Let me see here.
I'm playing in a band called Inside Out, which is also Big City Outlaws, and we do mostly private parties, but we do play once a month at a place called Marty B's in Bartonville, which is an awesome, really cool place. And other public gigs, there aren't many. We're doing mostly private parties and weddings, which is really cool. Other than that, publicly, the Nate's thing, and that's really about it, man. I pick up gigs here and there.
Okay.
I think the best place to really find out would be my Facebook page. That's the place to do it, because that's where I post. That weekend.
Yeah, it is. If y'all can see, guys and gals, if y'all can see, I do have Matt's website up on the screen. If you want to make a note of it, do you have your links to Facebook and YouTube and all that on your website?
There should be there. I haven't. I've been amiss at maintenance on my webpage.
Oh, okay.
It's been a while since I've actually been there. I should check it out, but yeah, it should be on there.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, guys, I guess that's it. If there's not anything else, I want to thank y'all for joining me. Next week, we're going to have Pepe Marola, one of the best jazz drummers I've ever heard. He works a lot around the U.S. He does a lot of stuff out in Las Vegas, works with a couple of jazz clubs out there. But if you guys get a chance, Pepe's noted for the one-handed rolls and stuff. And I can't wait for you all to see him next Sunday night. So mark your calendars. And we're going to probably start at about 8 o'clock. Because I think it's Palm Sunday, so a lot of people are going to be probably going to church and everything. So, Matt, I want to thank you for coming online today. And,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and theme us out. But if you could just stay on, I'll go ahead and theme us out. So, end with a drum solo. End with a fast drum solo.
Please.
Yeah. Hey, I've heard that one. I've heard that one somewhere. That's
I thought. Oh man, I'm gonna have to come up with something else now.
I know, right? All right. I don't think you want to hear me play drums right now. I'm not warmed up, but anyway, I was just trying to. I embarrassed myself on Hot for Teacher because I'm going to tell you something. I only use double bass when I'm doing a session in here or if I'm tracking for a client, if they want a double bass stuff. But man, when I'm on the gig, I don't know if you do this, Matt, but I don't know if you carry your double bass pedal with you, but when I'm on a gig, I just have one pedal. I don't know. The bands I work with, especially if I'm out with Michael Martin Murphy or some of the other people, if I ever use the double bass pedal for Michael Martin Murphy or anybody in our cover band, they'd probably turn around and it's like, "What are you doing? What's that all about?" Just give me
idiomatic.
Yeah, just give me 2 and 4.
The downbeats.
Right, well, guys, thank you for watching and tune in for next week, Pepe Marola, and we're going to go ahead and theme this out. And I appreciate y'all coming online. Peace. Take care, y'all.